Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, hope you are having a great day. Today we have some new stories for you. Am I the idiot for taking a DNA test? My mother and I have a low contact relationship for a host of reasons, so for me this wasn't a thing to worry about, but maybe I'm wrong. When I was a kid she refused to tell me who my biological father was, or to tell me why she wouldn't tell me. My Aunt P, her elder sister, told me when I was 18 that my father was a bad person. At the time I accepted that as an answer since my mother has always, despite claiming to love me to my stepdad and his family, made it clear how much she didn't want me around. But my mother lies about things, not just major things, mundane things like who made a dish. Fast forward a couple of decades and the topic came up again at a family function. Because my stepdad's sister M has never liked my mom, and since M was never told the story my mother's side of the family was told, she was under the impression that I was to be told who he was as an adult. She asked about it, and when I told her I didn't know, she confronted my mother, who gave a name, Tom Smith, and the school he went to in the 1970s. It wasn't exactly the kind of info that helps you find anyone, so last year I took one of the corporate DNA tests. I didn't expect much, but I wanted to know if I had any half-siblings. I found a whole family this year, definitely not named Smith, including my deceased father's siblings. His name and other info doesn't match anything my mother told me, but DNA doesn't lie. My mother is remembered by them as the other woman, who when my father refused to leave his wife, my mother told him she was having an A. Shortly after that argument, he was killed in a car accident. I look just like him and his twin sister T, who has pictures of him with my mother as well as his journal, which I'm still reading, but it pretty much details what sounds like a swinger couple figuring out that swinging was fun but maybe too risky. Now I know the real reason things were the way they are, and for right now that's enough for me. I'm still processing, especially since my mother has presented herself as a hyper-conservative Catholic for most of my life. But my new aunt is angry, because she worked at the same company with my mother about 15 years ago, and my mother never told her I existed. She called my parents' house, they still have a listed landline, and my mother's first name is very unique, and left a long angry message on the voicemail that my stepdad heard. Apparently, there were a lot of lies told to him about my mother's life before they got together and during their marriage. Now she's angry with me for causing problems, and I am definitely not feeling guilty. However, my Aunt P says I should have just left it alone after all this time. So am I the idiot for wanting to know my father's identity and inadvertently outing her past as the other woman? In my opinion, no, OP, you're not the idiot for wanting to know the truth about your heritage, you're in the right. Your mother decided to deprive you of this truth. Maybe she and your biological father didn't get along in the end, but she chose to hide her/your story from you, and with that it ended up backfired at her. What you guys think? Now let's go to the comments. Not the idiot. If she had been open with you, you might never have gone looking. You have a right to know about your background. Not the idiot. You are in no way responsible for the lies your mother told your stepfather. Those are entirely on her. She could have avoided all of this by being honest with you and with her husband. I have a similar situation to OP. Never knew my dad. Mother gives unreliable information, no one else seems to know anything. Always been the black sheep of the family. I've decided I don't care much. I don't need more family to disappoint me, I don't want the emotional drama and mess. There's no telling what kind of thing can be uncovered in the process. And there isn't anything a strange man that shares my DNA could give me to make my life any more fulfilled anyway. Maybe one day my opinion will change, but for now, I have no desire to learn about my roots. I'll still be the same old me regardless. I swung back and forth between caring and not for years, which is why it took me so long to do the DNA. But I hate secrets, so I approached it as solving a mystery, not necessarily finding family. The fact that they're welcoming is a bonus, but I totally understand not wanting to know too. Not the idiot. From your post it sounds like you are a full adult, so you have the right to know who your father is. Other people in your life made a choice to hide who he was from you, and that made you curious. I just wanted to let you know that, while you absolutely could end up disappointed, there's also a chance that they would welcome you and be a family that doesn't disappoint you. I don't intend to change your mind though, but just wanted to say that my deadbeat dad's family is the only family I recognize because even though my mom is lovely, her family is horrendous, so sometimes life can be funny, annoying, like that. You will always be you though, you're right, and I hope your friends and loved ones treat you with love always, regardless of family drama. You're absolutely right, but it's a high-stakes risk. Once you let that cat out of the bag, it doesn't go back in. Finding lost family is an extremely emotional and sensitive situation, and I think it's only ever worth it if you want to invite more people into your life. I honestly do not, so it's not worth ripping open a closed wound. I only provided my story to give perspective to why people might not be interested in learning about their family. I know it's hard for people to imagine someone being comfortable with this level of mystery in their lives, but we're out here. Not the idiot. From your post it sounds like you are a full adult, so you have the right to know who your father is. Other people in your life made a choice to hide who he was from you, and that made you curious. Not the idiot. You are not responsible for your mom's choices. It doesn't matter if your actions inadvertently ousted her. Play shitty games, win shitty prizes. If your mom didn't want her husband to be upset, she shouldn't have done awful things, or at least not lied and owned up to having a past. Her lying to you is awful, and of course you would want to know the truth. I am sorry you were robbed of what sound like some lovely supportive relatives for so long. Not the idiot. It is normal and natural to seek answers to these questions. But, if it's true your mother and biological father were swingers, it is possible your mother couldn't be sure who the father of her child was. So maybe bear that in mind when you consider her lies and what might have motivated them. I thought about that, and it's pretty clear from the journal that so did my bio dad. But assuming his journaling is accurate, she had been trying for a couple of months to make their casual hookups a relationship, and he thought it was possible she wasn't sleeping with other people, just him. He told his sister about the possibility of me and asked for her advice. And although DNA wasn't quite a thing, my Aunt T thinks my face would have given it away since I really look like her and thus him. Basically, even if she wasn't sure before, she was definitely sure by the time I was a teen, because while I have never looked much like my mother, it's almost spooky how much I look like T. We could pass for mother and daughter easily. Are you enjoying the video so far? If so, don't forget to leave a like. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to know when there's a new video. Now let's go to the next story. Am I the idiot for telling my girlfriend I'll keep honoring my best friend's dying wish even if it makes her uncomfortable? My late best friend and I knew each other since we were little. We were next-door neighbors and always played together. We even went to the same kindergarten, primary school and middle/high school together. One day during our sophomore year, we started talking about how most of our classmates had started dating. We obviously weren't okay with that and decided to get one up on all of them by getting married. As a joke, I made her a fake ring and she gave me her scrunchie. A few weeks later, a drunk driver hit her. She sustained multiple injuries and was in the ICU for 2 months. The doctor told her family that her survival chances are slim. In the only time I talked to her before she died, she made me promise to always visit her on our wedding anniversary, and to wear her scrunchie during the visit. 4 years ago when I started dating my girlfriend, I told her about it and asked if she was okay with it. She commented about how sweet and nice the tradition was and told me she was perfectly fine with it. Today was the 10th anniversary and I took the day off. Before my girlfriend went to work, she told me it's time to put this tradition to rest and move on because it was starting to get pathetic that I still wear a dead girl scrunchie to celebrate a fake marriage that we had 10 years ago. I was furious at her comments because she wasn't just a dead girl. She was my best friend and like a sister to me. We grew up and did everything together. I told my girlfriend a long time ago that we never had a sexual or romantic relationship and that our wedding was just a joke. It's not like I talk about her or keep her photos around the house or anything similar. The only times I've talked about her to my girlfriend is when I told her if she was okay with the tradition or if she asked me about her. When I told her that I'll keep honoring my best friend's dying wish even if it made her uncomfortable, she left for work angry at me and hasn't came back home yet. In my opinion, I don't believe you're wrong to keep honoring your friend OP, even after so long. It surprises me, in a good way, that you continue, because I know that many people would have left that promise behind in time. Regarding your girlfriend's reaction, it's possible that she didn't know how much you were really committed to that promise, or she didn't know how much it would bother her over time. Anyway, she had a bad attitude and she shouldn't have said that. She should have found another way to express her displeasure. You weren't the idiot, and you're not wrong to be disappointed and angry with her either. Not the idiot, but if she's been fine up until now, then maybe she's upset about something else? Like there's been a feeling that the relationship has fallen into complacency, so she's lashed out at a display of you showing something else as being meaningful? After 4 years, she might be annoyed that he's still honoring a fake marriage without giving her the commitment of a real one with her. I wonder if she's reaching a point where she wants to get married and is feeling resentful. Edit. I'm not condoning her behavior at all. If this is her reasoning, then she needs to have a mature discussion rather than being underhanded. I was just speculating on her behavior. I've been trying to reach her for hours now, but she wouldn't answer my calls and would just leave my texts on scene. I've been worried about her, and she just texted me a few minutes ago, at 1:30, saying that she'll be staying at a friend's place for the week. It's been a long day and I am just exhausted. Sorry for not taking the time to reply to you because I'm going to bed. I'll just paste a previous comment I made if that's okay with you. My therapist made it clear that I should be open and honest with my future partners from the start. During our last sessions, she said similar things about guilt, burden, and being a hostage to the promise. However, she told me that some wounds may never fully heal, and that's okay. But if keeping this promise brings you peace or makes you connect with a departed loved one, then it's a necessary part of the process. And that's honestly is how I feel. I don't think about her a lot, so this once-in-a-year tradition is very important to me. I told my girlfriend that, and how that she will always come first, and that my tradition is only a day, in fact it's just a few hours. And that if there's some kind of emergency or anything similar, she will always take precedence. And it's not like I avoid her for the rest of the day or make her feel like I'm still thinking about my best friend. When I come back home from the cemetery, I put the scrunchie in a box that I keep away and not touch until the next year. When she comes back home, we always do our usual stuff. I also deleted her photos a few years back from my phone. I kept copies in cloud storage, but I never opened them, and put the physical ones at my parents' house. I understand and accept that she's gone, but I just want a few hours a year to keep honoring her wish, because it also brings me peace and joy. I've always been transparent with my girlfriend, and that's why I snapped when she used those words. Maybe he is okay taking a day off to go honor her dead friend, but refuses to do it when his wife needs it or he doesn't remember their own anniversary. Without her side of the story, it's hard to give a proper judgment. The level of grace that people are currently giving OP's girlfriend is ridiculous. OP is allowed to celebrate his friend on a day that was important to both of them. He literally only gives her this few hours a day, once a year, to celebrate her life. His girlfriend calling her a dead girl like she's some stranger is hurtful, rude, and completely unacceptable. If she has a problem, she should talk about it, not disparage the memory of OP's friend. Communication, and a big fat apology, is on her right now because she has the problem, not the idiot, and your girlfriend is being an absolute a-hole. Don't feel bad about honoring your friend how you want to honor her. Don't doubt how you feel at all, and if your girlfriend can't understand that, that's her problem. I hope the support of Reddit will help you realize that you have done nothing wrong. No idiots here. But don't be held hostage by a promise for a fake marriage. Even real marriages are to death do us part. Celebrate your friend's life the way you want in life because she is dead and does not care. So if your remembrance of her brings you joy, then find people that can share in that joy with you. I do wonder though, if your friend were able to see you having a conflict in a relationship over this, what would she want you to do? That's something only you can answer. I think that you haven't talked through this with your girlfriend, and there is obviously built up resentment and misunderstanding with her that discussion and conversation might fix. In the end, what's important for yourself, and communicate those expectations to your girlfriend and let the chips fall where they may. Update. Am I the idiot for telling my girlfriend I'll keep honoring my best friend's dying wish even if it makes her uncomfortable? When I came back home from work Tuesday, I found her sitting on the couch. She looked like she had been crying before I got there. After she saw me, she held her head and broke down crying again. When I asked her what's wrong, she started apologizing and begging for my forgiveness. I calmed her and told her she needed to talk to me first. She said that she didn't have the guts to look me in the eye after what she did, and that she haven't been able to sleep ever since. She told me that she's been feeling like a piece of shit after talking about my best friend the way she did, and also hurting my feelings as a result. She admitted she really saw my tradition as nice and sweet when I first told her about it, but still thought I'd stop doing it after each passing year. She told me she never considered herself the jealous or controlling type, but what she did really showed her true colors. She told me that I don't deserve a bad girlfriend like her because for the whole time we were together I always listened to her, treated her with love, respect and kindness, and made her feel like the most important girl in the world. And in return she thanked me by being a mean-spirited partner that was jealous and cruel, and who tried to deprive me from the few hours I get to have each year to honor a sweet and loving memory of a friend. She said she'd understand if I wanted to break up with her, but asked me to forgive her because she didn't think she'd be able to forgive herself, and apologized again. Hearing all that was really a lot to digest. I took a few minutes to gather my thoughts. Then I told her that forgiveness was a process and I wouldn't mean it if I said I did right then. I assured her that her feelings were valid whether I agreed with them or not, and that having them doesn't make her a bad person, but told her that the way she acted on them at first was hurtful, tasteless, and rude. I said that I accepted her apology because it was sincere and that I really appreciate her being honest with me. I told her I meant what I said before about wanting to spend the rest of my life with her, and reminded her that we always faced hardships and setbacks as a team, and this one wasn't any different. She replied saying that I was the love of her life and that she couldn't believe she was going to throw all we had away because of jealousy. She made me promise to never feel guilty about honoring my best friend memory. We talked and hugged each other for a long time and then fell asleep on the couch. I just want to thank you all for your comments, advice and suggestions because they really helped and played a huge role in navigating this situation. I believe they made me consider a lot of scenarios and think about a lot of stuff which hadn't crossed my mind before. These are today's stories, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Remember to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more stories. Until next time.